Sekarang I dekat bank. Dah lama I tak datang ke bank dah kerana semua benda pun I buat dekat banking app. You know how today we are so digitalized kan, everything we are using app. But the other day I terlupa password I for my banking app. And guess what? Tak ada function reset password. Nak reset password, dia kata I mesti come to a bank branch. Ini memang buat I marah sebab today is a digital age and this kind of simple task should be able to be done. You know what? Let's ask other people what they think about this.
The other day when I was using I waited 9 hours at the customer service there just to get something sorted because someone got into my credit card. So that was crazy. Yeah. Even when I call also, same thing, I had to wait. And then they charged me, for the call.
The bank that I use, that I most dislike is apps because it's quite slow. The system when I log in, it takes a few minutes to go inside the apps like that. So it's quite slow.
Oh, memang ada. Tak ada duit.
So got one time I want to transfer money to my friend around 2 or 3 a.m. The bank cannot transfer because they say it's not operating that hours or something. The system cannot transfer at that time period, so it's quite annoying.
Do you think that that's reasonable for today's digital age?
No, it should be 24/7.
I ada satu lagi kisah yang I nak share dengan korang. You know last time I ada beli satu rumah and I wanted to find out more information tentang rumah tu. So I call bank tau. And bila I call bank, you know what they tell me? Mereka bagi tahu I dia tak boleh bagi saya tahu apa-apa information. I perlu call bank branch yang saya apply loan tu dengan. Tapi I sudah tak ingat sebab sudah lama buat loan tu kan. Dia kata dia tak boleh bagi tahu saya mana branch tu juga. So apa yang boleh saya buat? Saya telefon one by one untuk tanya mana bank branch tu. Ini memang gila, especially when we are in a digital age. With so many problems when it comes to digitalization of banking, I'm wondering if the new kind of bank, which is digital bank, have all these problems solved. So, hari ini, I nak pergi cakap dengan GXBank, bank digital pertama yang launch di Malaysia. So, Hilda, I ada soalan. Traditional bank pun ada app juga, pun ada online juga. So what's so special tentang this digital bank sebenarnya?
Okay, so digital bank ni sebenarnya baru bank negara bagi 5 license kan?
Why did bank negara kan mereka bagi extra 5 license ni? This time so special, 5 license je. And then dah lah sudah ada bank. Okay, so I understand the concept. Dia memang start from online digital. But is there any special reason?
The objective at the end of the day is for financial inclusion. And I think the most important thing is to enable accessibility.
Okay.
So maknanya dia orang-orang tak kisahlah dekat mana pun, they must have the ability to access banking services.
Right.
Right, so macam contoh you tadi kan, you cakap, oh you kena cari branch, you kena buat itu, kena buat ni. So sekarang ni, katakanlah you duduk dekat tempat yang branch tu jauh, berkilometer jauhnya lah. You kena naik motor lah, apalah and all that stuff, right? But with a digital bank, the intent is that you're able to access banking services wherever you are. For as long as you have coverage, for as long as you have a mobile phone, you will have accessibility. So that's the primary objective. And we're here to complement the environment, the ecosystem that's already quite strong in Malaysia.
Betul juga when you say that over the years, there are banyak orang yang approach kita. Ada masa ni mereka duduk dekat rural, right? Then what I realised that sebab mereka susah pergi bank branch, kalau kata nak pergi bank branch pun you perlu ambil satu hari cuti. So masuk tak pergi, then duit pun simpan kat katil. Tak ada apa benda nak buat tu, you use it for other reasons. Ada kalanya mereka kalau nak untung returns ke apa, mereka main benda-benda lain lah. Macam yalah, we know lah all the traditional.
Yes.
That could be your friend just take the money and larikan diri. Yeah?
So I think at the end of the day kan, the traditional banks have done a very good job in serving what needed to be served. I think so that's one. So for us, because we're digitally native, our ability to understand what the customer needs and customer wants and the ability to pivot and innovate, I think it's quite different, right? We are born out of tech. So our tech infrastructure, our understanding is quite different. And I think that was the intent of Bank Negara juga lah kan. So sekarang ni tu satu. At the end of the day, when at least for us in GXBank, when we thought about building products, it's so that we all grow for good. So maknanya dia orang yang macam simpan duit bawah katil tu, sebab sekarang ni kalau bagi you peluang, you simpan duit dengan kita, you dapat 3%. So you get to grow, right?
Betul.
And for us, by you growing it, we grow too as an institution. The second thing is that we have a lot of pain points tau. Actually, that simple example you gave tu, actually it's a very good pain point tau. Sekarang ni, I nak pergi branch, I kena ambil cuti sehari.
Ya,
Nak
betul.
cari branch. Lepas tu, belum cerita lagi nak isi borang lah, everything
Tunggu nombor
else.
giliran
Tunggu nombor
lah.
giliran. It's a fantastic example, but it's a very real example.
Betul.
So for us, when we think about it, we want to actually solve those pain points. And internally we call it, we solve for your pain points. So we say we solve for X. Whatever that X is. So yang pergi belajar algebra dulu kan, bila kita buat equation kan, kita cakap, please solve for X.
Ya, so apakah X ni?
Apakah X ni bergantung kepada tiap-tiap orang kan.
Right.
And how do we know what that X is? Our staff is like 99% Malaysian. Apa yang you sakit, perit you, kita faham. So, beratur ambil nombor, I myself, understand that pain, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
always try to think about solving for that X because our people are the ones feeling the pain. So that's why bila you digitally native, you are 99% Malaysian staff.
That's right.
We are built by Malaysians. You tahu tau. And intuitively you build for it, right? Because you're vested. And that is why, like for us, when we thought about what's the first product we were going to push forward, we thought of a savings account. So if we could give everybody an opportunity to save and get 3%, regardless, kita tak ada tier tau. So
Ya,
tak
betul.
kisah, tak ada limit, tak ada apa, you letak je, you get 3%. Because we are thinking of what would be that pain point, what would be good for Malaysians. We thought that would be like a very good entry. So I guess that's how we think about it. So sorry, I get very excited when I talk about things like this.
But itu betul juga.
It's true.
Because from what I've seen, you guys came out with a bank account kan. Bank account ni bagi 3%. Tak ada bank account bagi 3% di market. Money market fund I understand, tapi bank account bagi 3% tak pernah I jumpa. Yeah, and then daily interest rate bagi juga. This is something that orang biasa akan rasa gembira lah because every day I dapat balik 3%. And this kind of things are usually privileged to very high net worth. The reason you all can do this, is it also because you all manage to save costs by not having branch and all a lot of usual capital investment that banks has?
I think that the reality is that our cost structure is different than a traditional bank. Every company in the world, there are only two things you manage, right? Income and cost. So our cost structure is slightly smaller than traditional banks because we don't have the branch network to take care of. So that's one. But I think for us is that fine balance between managing our costs, which we start off with a low base. It's a benefit kan bila kita start something from scratch. Kita tak ada macam-macam nak fikir kan. Kita masuk kata I nak buat ni. This is the infrastructure I need to actually provide this service and we keep the cost manageable.
Right.
For a bank, we only have 380 plus staff. That's all we have.
That's a very small team
Very
for a bank,
small
right?
team for a bank kan. So you imagine, but because we are a tech company, we invest heavily on technology, on security especially, on the stability of our infrastructure. We invest a lot there. So it's a different type of cost, but it's still a cost for us. But holistically, we do run a very lean cost structure.
Yeah.
So that's one, which allows us to focus on trying to balance out the savings that we can pass on.
Betul?
Kan?
Yeah.
So kalau kita punya cost structure tu lain, susah kita nak pass on.
Betul lah, because
Kan?
your cost structure is so lean, you boleh choose to use those costs to solve problems.
Correct.
That's why you got 24 hours customer service.
Correct.
Other banks tak ada.
Betul. So that's one.
For me, that's my pain point. That's
No,
my X.
exactly. That's your X, right? So
That's my
we
X.
hear you. So that's why like when masa kita mula-mula nak buat ni kan, kita cakap yang paling penting biar manusia bercakap dengan manusia. Penting tu. Because for me, I find it so difficult when I'm not talking to someone. And for us, it was such a pain point that we wanted at the get-go to solve.
What can we expect in terms of future? Bagi macam Grab driver, kalau mereka nak ambil loan untuk beli rumah, kadang-kadang credit report mereka susah nak dapat because tak ada EPF semua tu kan.
We built the bank, right? we built it for Malaysians. So we start with that base kan. So dari situ kita boleh tengok tau, setengah-setengah macam you cakap tu betul tau. Like, bukan semua orang ada 3 months salary slip.
Betul.
Katakanlah you tak ada salary slip, katakan you tak ada EPF. Apa lagi yang I boleh tengok untuk pastikan yang sebenarnya you ni boleh ambil loan, you ni boleh bayar balik. So that is what I think the challenge that is put on us collectively as all the digital banks. How do you give accessibility kepada orang yang sebelum ni tak ada? Itu sebenarnya the problem statement dia. That's the X. So how do we solve it? For us, we're very proud to say we have a lot of 130 over in-house engineers. So they build. So for us, we sit and we say, hey guys, what if we wanted to do this? How long would it take? And because they're part of our team, we are continuously thinking about what's that X. How do we build this? How do we give people an ability to become credit worthy? Because that's the issue right now, right? A lot of people that are credit worthy, but on paper they're not. Right? So how do I do it in a way that gives them that credit worthiness? So that's one. The second is to give them the ability to build a track record. Kan? Because all this while, kalau you tengok traditional, oh dia ni sebab dia dah ada loan sebelum ni, dia bayar tiap-tiap bulan, oh dia bagus. Credit conduct dia bagus. Tapi macam mana you nak ada credit conduct tu kalau the first part punya tak boleh buat? First part loan pun you tak boleh ambil. Macam mana you nak build that credit history kan? So it's this two combination that needs to come together. So we need to be able to assess the credit worthiness of a person in a different way. Give them a loan so that they can then show that they have discipline, develop that track record, and then move on, right? And then take on more. So once a person has access to this, what you do is you set people for life.
Because it's true, banyak orang bila nak macam ambil loan rumah, loan kereta, dia pergi bank bagi tahu dia you tak ada payment record.
Oh, you tak ada credit history.
Tak pernah ambil loan. Then you fikir, I memang tak pernah ambil loan, that's why I tak ada credit report kan.
Sebab
Then
I
you
tak boleh.
Saya loan sebab saya tak pernah ambil loan, tak logik tau.
So it becomes this vicious cycle, right?
Betul.
So how do we then break that cycle and give people a shot? Right, so that's, I think for us, that's the X. And to do it in a way that's supaya orang tu jangan terlebih pinjam. To do it in an ethical way, right? That's why the whole narrative, cara kita nak buat ni penting. Jadi makan masa lah. Sebab you tak nak bagi orang yang tak boleh bayar tu, you bagi dia duit banyak-banyak, lalas dia berhutang, lalas kita. You know, that's just not what it's all about. But to do it in a way that's meaningful. So look out, we will be, solving for that particular X.
Oh, looks like
because
looks like there's
I'm very hopeful. Because of the fact that at the end of the day, we are trying to bridge the underserved.
right. Yeah.
Right, so we are trying to create that small break, that small bridge, so that you can run.
Coming to the end of this one, I just want to highlight one thing that all of you should be taking note of. I think GXBank has a debit card that also allows a 1% cashback, which is unheard of. Because biasa cashback hanya ada pada credit card je, which I think this is the first step that we can see how as a digital bank mereka nak membawakan manfaat daripada like biasa hanya boleh dapat daripada credit card, tapi makia kat tepi jalan takkan ada credit card juga sometimes. Not all lah, ada banyak ada juga. Tapi yang tak boleh dapat tu, now you want cashback, you boleh juga gunakan debit card yang ada bagi cashback. Which I think for a traditional bank, bukan tak boleh buat, tapi susah sikit. Because by design from the start, boleh nampak lah.
We're very proud of our debit card. I think it's very close to our heart. We're very proud of it. And you're right. Tepat sekali, cara dia is like you only spend what you have. And when you spend what you have, you get a cashback. And that's how the narrative for us worked. But yeah, it is one of the better. We hope that it's one of the better debit cards out there. We hope people benefit from it. But yeah, we're very proud of our debit card.
All right, please make more products like that. For
We
the
will.
rakyat.
We hope that you like it. We hope everybody likes it, and we will. And that's why our whole conversation earlier, right, about solving for that pain point, thinking about it, being quite sincere and earnest about it. I think that's predominantly where we are coming from. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Hilda.
Thank you for
Have a
having
good
this
day.
chat with me. You too.
Jadi selepas bercakap dengan Hilda dari GXBank, apa korang rasa? Adakah korang ni rasa digital bank ni akan dapat meet the needs of the people lebih baik ataupun bank-bank biasa? Dan kalau korang nak produk-produk yang you wish to see that digital bank will come out of, not just GXBank but other digital banks as well, bagi tahu kat komen di bawah.